Hello， 大家好，我是宅君，欢迎回到天国降临。
You need a hand with anything around here?
I certainly do. After what happened, I don't know where to begin. Throw out everything that's burnt, hire new stable boys. But why bother? There's just no point anymore, especially since no one will buy from me. Our best customer was Sir Divish of Talmberg. He paid handsomely for our horses. But now my husband is... Now he's been murdered. His lordship has stopped buying, although we still breed excellent steeds.
Then why would he stop buying from you?
I don't know, really. But maybe you could find out? Take our dabbled grey and show him to his lordship. He's a fine steed, a bit of a devil, but fast as the wind. That ought to convince Sir Divish.
Why me? Why not go yourself or send a stable boy?
I need all my stable boys here, and besides, you've got his lordship's ear, so I'm sure I can trust you.
But how? Do you want to race?
Race? I can't go running around like a March hare just to win some custom. I've got my dignity.
No, not you. A horse race. The winner will determine who Sir Divish buys from.
Ah, I see. And I was afraid I'd have to try and outrun people half my age with these old aching knees of mine.
All right, I'll go and ask Sir Divish. Maybe I can find out what's going on.
That would be very kind of you, lad. Please send him my respectful greetings. God be with you.
Hey!
This one is from Neuhoff. Take good care of him for me.
Greetings, Henry.
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
My lord, I bring greetings from Smill's widow, Zora, mistress of the Neuhoff stud farm.
Zora. The poor woman, to lose her husband in such a terrible way. How can I help her?
She sends her respects and would like to ask, if you don't mind, why you stopped buying horses from her.
I take my horses from Uzits now. It's no reflection on Zora or her people, but it was clear to me after the tragedy at Neuhoff that the stud farm would never recover. I'm not inclined to buy my steeds from a stud farm run by a woman. You can understand that, can't you? Being a stable master is a man's work.
But she's a widow without any other means of support, sir. Wouldn't it be worth at least having a look at her horses?
Perhaps you're right, but it all sounds rather dull. We'll hold a horse race, and whoever's horse fares better, that's who we'll buy from. I hope you will carry the Neuhoff colors.
It looks that way. I've already bought the horse.
Splendid. Tell my stable master about my decision. Meanwhile, I'll send word to the riders from the other stables around. Let's make a proper show of it.
Sir Divish has sent me about the race.
Race?
Yes, I'm to tell you he wants to arrange a horse race.
It's true, no one's raced the Talmberg track for ages. But what's your part in this?
Actually, Mistress Zora sent me. She wants his lordship to start buying her horses again.
Zora? She's from the Neuhof stud.
Yes.
I hope with all my heart you win. After what's happened to Zora, she deserves some luck. Do you know the rules of the race?
I do.
All right, but a race like that will take some time to arrange. Bring the dappled grey tomorrow to the gate of the Outer Bailey at noon. The start will be there.
All right, thanks.
Fall to the great Talmberg horse race, where the best steeds and riders in the land will compete to see who's fastest. Fate and fortune won't decide the winner here today. Horsemanship, knowing the lay of the land, and quick wits will bring victory. But I won't hold things up any longer. Competitors, prepare yourselves. Ready, steady, go!
Yeah.
哦，塞车！
Show them what you're made of. Yeah.
下一站，这匹马速度没有很快啊，追不到啊。哦，它没力了。啊，天哪！看来只能切西瓜了，是吗？哦，我不知道我第几名呢。切到看不到人了。看到来了。Yes。我应该第一吧。
And here's our champion. A very impressive ride, Henry. Truly. And on a horse from Neuhoff. It seems I'll have to reconsider where I get my horses from.
Are you going to buy from Zora then?
I'd be insane not to. You've proven to me the exceptional nature of her horses. Please send her the news with my greetings.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you. I'll pass your message on to her. Can I be of service to you, Sir Divish? I've heard talk that something is going on in Pribyslavitz.
Henry, you've come at just the right moment. I sent a man to Pribyslavitz. My locator, Marius.
What's a locator?
A land allocator. I charged him with checking on the condition of the settlement to see if we can start rebuilding it.
You're planning to resettle the village?
Yes,
Why Pribyslavitz of all places?
because it's been lying fallow and falling into ruin since it was sacked by Havelmetic years ago. It's about time that changed.
Well, it should be safe there now. We trounced that rabble on the battlefield.
Yes, and that's why I sent my master locator there. However, he should have been back long since.
If you've no objection, I could go and look for him.
I'd appreciate that. He probably just got delayed. But I'd be happier if you checked it out.
That race, it was quite something.
So the race is over? Tell me, please, how did it go?
Not good. Terrible. Atrocious, really.
God bless
Zora,
you, wife.
prepare for the
How
worst.
fare you?
Mother of God, what am I to do?
Alas, you'll need to begin anew. Because Sir Divish wants to buy your horses.
Why, I ought
Finish
to
it
wring
off
your
for you
neck,
today.
you rat.
Right.
That's
Stop
not the
that,
kind of
mate.
joke you play on a woman of my age.
Congratulations, Zora.
Thank you, lad. But how can I ever pay you back? Wait, I've got it.
You'll get the best saddle to be had in the whole province. Smill had it made in Kuttenberg.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's you I owe thanks to, lad. Take care.
So, it's all clear to me now.
What is? Who are you? You've no business here.
I'm Henry, and I was expecting to find you here.
What? How could you?
Sir Divish's locator went missing around these parts.
Well, it seems like he's all out of luck, don't it? Divish ought to have sent someone better than you to parley.
He didn't send me to parley, he sent me to deal with it.
Deal with it? There's plenty of us, and you're on your own. So I'd think twice about how you're going to deal with that.
I could join you. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Or bloody.
Yeah, right, Sonny. At him, lads!
You're in the wrong place.
Whoa.
Raise the alarm! Watch out!
I'll chop you to pieces, you rat.
To arms! Get over here!
Over here! Where is everyone? Quick!
还有谁？
Hey! All of you! Gather here!
Raise the alarm!
Oh, 睡啊！
Dead. Is that all you've got? Come here,
剩你啊！
Oliver. Christ.
这招叫连环劈呀！
Hey, Goodman, help me. I'm tied up here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Sir Divish sent me to find you. And it looks like I arrived just in time.
God's truth.
I'm Henry of Scalith.
My name is Marius Belek, Master Locator. Sir Divish sent me here to survey the area.
Well, the outlaws are out of the way, so we can go and report to him, right?
Not just yet. Those bastards caught me as soon as I arrived. And so far all I've seen is the inside of the tent they tied me up in. I still have a job to do. Come along with me, if you like. We'll report to Sir Divish afterwards.
I'll escort you then. At least I can make sure you don't get caught again.
What? Are there more of those bandits around?
No, I just meant... Never mind. Should we get going?
Hey, what's this here?
This is a good spot for the rat house. Every village must have one. It'll be nice and prominent here. It's on the hillside, so the foundations will stay dry. It can have its own little square, close to the church. There's no better site here. The church is still standing. Good. Good. Whoever built it did a good job. Considering how old it is and what it's been through recently, it stood up well. It won't be an easy job to fix it, but it can be done. Timber alone won't do, though. We could fit at least one tradesman's shop here. Maybe a baker's? There's quite a lot of space here. It just needs clearing thoroughly. Then we could even fit stables here. Main approach road and stream. This bridge needs reinforcing. It won't last long in this condition. I reckon it would make sense to build a weir over the stream down there. The water here is clean and can be used to supply the village until we sink a well. It's a good thing we have this stream. No point in building without a water source. I can't even see past the trees and ruins whether there's room for anything there. But at least the trees are strong and healthy. All we need is a few good woodcutters, and we won't have to bring in any timber from elsewhere. Stone foundations. They'll come in handy, and we're close to the stream. Lots of space here. Big space, clean water, close to the village green. Good site for an inn.
So, Master Locator, ready to start building?
There's a long way to go before that. The few ruins that are left are basically beyond repair. It's all overgrown with brush.
Oh dear.
We'll have to get it all cleared before we can start rebuilding it.
So it is possible to rebuild everything?
Yes, absolutely.
But building a whole village is no small enterprise.
We'll need timber, lots of it. Which isn't a problem in the middle of the woods, of course. We'll have to hire wage labor to begin with. Quite a lot of men. I think we should get started without delay. There's a lot of work involved, but it'll be well worth the effort. I can just imagine it. The church will dominate the whole settlement.
Oh, that's good news. When will you inform Sir Divish?
Why, wait. I'll head to Talmberg right away. But Would you keep an eye on things here in the meantime? It would be rather embarrassing to run into more bandits when I return with Sir Divish.
No problem. I'll be right here.
It shouldn't take us long. My lord, welcome to Pribyslavitz. That is to say, welcome back to Pribyslavitz after all these years. Well, what's left of it.
Not to worry, Marius. I'm glad to be back in my old hamlet. Although, it seems to have aged about as gracefully as I have over the years.
I beg to differ, sir. It's quite dilapidated, unlike your good self, but at least it's safe now. Thanks in part to Henry here, who also saved me from a predicament that cost me valuable time. Who knows? If it hadn't been for him, we might not even be talking now.
Well, lad, in the end, you managed things in your own way, I see. Just as you said you would.
I did my best, sir. There was no reasoning with them. They thought since it was 4-1, I'd be no trouble.
I expect that was a fatal mistake.
Just so, sir.
No loss. At least they won't be troubling us again. Let's get down to the matter in hand, shall we? What state is Pribyslavitz in?
Sir, in my official capacity as locator, I am gratified to inform you that the hamlet of Pribyslavitz may be renewed. And indeed it offers prospects of considerable expansion beyond its former limits.
Splendid. Finally, some good news for this province.
And badly needed, too.
So, what have you discovered so far? I want to know all the details.
We had a scout around.
We conducted a basic survey. I already have in my head an initial plan of what...
We should certainly have a church. I'd like to preserve the existing one.
That should present no serious obstacles. The building is in much better condition.
That's to be expected.
There's a stream here, and a well, right in the middle of the village.
Yes, and there are abundant woods around. Clearing them will provide both extra land and timber supplies that we can use right away.
Right now, I believe we're standing on the village green, aren't we?
The future green, that is. The village centre will comprise at least 6 large buildings to begin with. We can't fit any more than that here. So there will be other buildings away from the square, in particular more extensive structures.
I'm glad to hear it. I never expected you'd find so much space here in the middle. The building work we're about to engage in is only the first part of my plan. Later, we'll clear more forests for agricultural land and build more farmhouses. But for now, we'll have to focus on more sensible goals.
As you wish, my lord.
Rebuilding a whole village must cost a king's ransom, though.
It's true it won't come cheap. Before the tradesmen settle here and start producing and trading, it will be necessary to invest a certain amount of capital.
A certain amount? How much exactly?
I wouldn't venture to state a precise amount at this point, but I expect it will come to some thousands, even tens of thousands of groschen.
Well, that much? I hope you're good at haggling.
We shall, of course, attempt to procure everything at the best possible price, but raising a settlement from the ashes you see around you is a costly business. Nevertheless, I can assure you, my lord, that if all goes well, the investment shall all come back to you with interest.
I hope I shall live to enjoy it, Master Marius.
A village isn't a village without villagers. You'll need new subjects. Even preparing the ground for building will need lots of labour. Where can we find so many people, sir?
You sound skeptical, lad. But it's a good question. I've already given it some thought. I've agreed with Radzik and Hanish that we shall make an announcement in Rattay to invite people to move here and help with the construction, which will bring them many benefits, but also obligations. In addition, I expect the prospects of a new home will appeal to your former Skalitz neighbors, more than a makeshift camp by the castle walls.
They'll be delighted, sir.
A splendid solution, sir. I've also been concerned about how to bring settlers here, but now it seems there will be no shortage of new inhabitants after all.
It seems things are finally looking up. We routed the bandits in battle, and Henry took care of the remnants. When can we get to work?
Right away, as far as I'm concerned. All we need is people and the necessary funds. And we'll need someone to keep order, at least in the interim.
True. I'll leave you some of my men.
If I may, I would recommend quickly appointing a bailiff to take responsibility for the renewal of the village, its coffers and its citizens.
True. First things first. Since you understand these matters best, you shall take charge of the land parceling and building works. You'll be available to the bailiff, but answerable directly to me.
I'd be honored, sir. Thank you.
And, as regards the office of bailiff, what about you, Henry?
Yes, sir?
You've proven yourself well. You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems, and you command the respect of your former Skalitz neighbors.
Well, I'm not so sure.
And you're also capable of maintaining law and order.
I must concur.
So, let us expedite matters. Henry, I hereby appoint you to the office of bailiff of the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, in my domain.
My lord, it's a great honor. Thank you.
You will oversee the initial renewal and administration of the village that will set the ground for further development. But don't imagine it'll be a bed of roses, lad. Being bailiff doesn't mean you can do whatever you like. If you don't treat the settlers rightly, I'll soon find out and relieve you of your office. Besides, we can't spare a single groschen from the Talmberg coffers now, with the province in chaos. So, you'll have to cover the cost for the building work from your own purse.
Me? But Marius said it would cost a fortune.
True, but from what I hear, you know how to get your hands on coin enough. So, I expect you'll manage it just fine.
I'd like to know who's been spreading such gossip.
And I am assigning you certain specific tasks. You must ensure the rebuilding of the church. That means complete reconstruction, wall paintings, and a new altar. See to it that in the future, the village will be capable of supporting a certain number of people. For that, you will need to ensure the construction of essential artisans' buildings. And ultimately, the village must produce sufficient earnings to fund further expansion.
But, sir, I've never done...
I understand your concerns, but you'll be handsomely rewarded. I shall grant you the proceeds from the whole village for the first 5 years, and you have my permission to use the surrounding woods and land as you see fit.
Well, that's, I mean... Are you sure I'm the right man for the job, sir? It's a lot of responsibility.
As you said yourself, Henry, it's a great honor. Besides, you won't be alone in it. I'll assist you and supervise the construction work.
Phew. All right, then.
So, we're agreed. You'll give this document to the Rattay bailiff. He'll make the announcement to invite settlers, which should ensure enough people to begin work. At the same time, your official appointment as bailiff will be announced.
I don't know what to say, sir.
I'm sure you won't disappoint me, Henry. And now I must get back to my duties at Talmberg. Send word when everything is prepared.
Certainly, sir. Have a safe journey.
Farewell, sir. I have a document for you from Sir Divish. It concerns the renewal of Pribyslavitz.
The village you drove those bandits out of?
The very same.
So it's true, then? Good. Good. Let me see that document, then.
Here it is.
So what have we here? It says I should announce that anyone interested may move to Pribyslavitz to live and work. And Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush also give their consent. In that case, let's not waste any time. Come along with me.
Family with fresh bread.
Good day, Henry.
Hear ye, hear ye. It is hereby announced, in the name of Sir Hanush and Sir Divish, that you, the citizens of Rattay, as well as those who have found temporary refuge here, are permitted to move to the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, to the north of Talmberg Castle, wherein you shall be vouchsafed a new life and new dwellings, providing that you shall contribute to the renewal of the hamlet. All those who choose to accept this offer shall be exempted from payment of taxes for a period of 5 years. They shall be permitted also to make use of timber from the surrounding woods and water from the streams. The hamlet of Pribyslavitz lies in the domain of Sir Divish of Talmberg, and all who settle there shall be duty-bound to him. It is furthermore hereby announced that Henry of Skalitz is appointed to the administration of Pribyslavitz and the office of bailiff therein, which office and privilege have been conferred upon him by Sir Divish for loyalty and services rendered. I would therefore recommend that our Skalitz friends consider this offer very seriously, as nothing better is likely to come your way anytime soon.
You look like you've got a lot on your plate, Master Bailiff. Is work keeping you busy?
Busy? I've had so many visitors I wouldn't wonder if the door fell off its hinges.
What's going on?
I've been given the task of putting some of the Skalitz refugees to work.
I understand.
The worst part is they won't tell you who really needs a job the most, but you might be able to help, Henry.
How?
They're like to be more honest with you, so you can find out who's in the most need. And you can decide for yourself who'll do what. Will you help?
If you need help, I'll do whatever I can.
You're a godsend. I'm sure it won't take too long. You know how the refugees are getting on, don't you?
What kind of work are we talking about?
Well, old Hagen is looking for a cook and...
A cook and 5 water carriers. That sounds simple enough. Is there a problem?
A little. We need 3 water carriers, but the other 2 will have to carry, begging your pardon, shit. Or as the Pope would say, excrement.
How come that's such a cause for concern?
For one thing, they're afraid of me, and I can't get a straight answer out of any of them. So how the hell am I supposed to make the right choice?
Oh, they're desperate. You can't blame them.
I don't, but I might end up picking some good-for-nothing who'll just booze his wages away.
Can you tell me anything more about the cook?
You'll have to ask Hagen yourself. I couldn't get a straightforward answer out of him. Maybe he's changed his mind.
What do I need to know about the water carriers?
We need 3. Right now, some of the burgers' hands are doing the job.
And they need to go all the way down to the river for water?
Of course, where else would they get it? Gallows Hill? It's not an easy job, but...
What can you tell me about the other...
It's dirty, but it's a job that needs to be done.
That sounds disgusting. Why would anyone want the job?
If all else fails, I'll pay 2 groschen for every 1 I pay the water carriers. That might convince someone.
That's all I need to know.
Good luck, then.
I'd like to ask about our former neighbors.
The bailiff told me about it. He still wants our people to do the knacker's job?
What of it? It will benefit everyone.
Not everyone. There's not enough work for everyone, and no one wants...
But having a job could save someone's life.
Water carrying, maybe. But if they have to do a job that's not...
So you think there's no point in it? That it's better to beg than have a job, even if it is hauling shit?
You forget that that's a job for the knacker's hired hand, not for displaced people. When we return to Skalitz, they'll never be able to rid themselves of the stink.
So, do you know who's most in need of some coin and is fit for hard work?
Everyone's in need of coin, but not everyone is fit for such work.
Who should I talk to?
I'll talk to them myself and send them to meet you in front of the Rathaus, so they'll all be in one place.
I'm also looking for a cook. Do you know of a good cook who's looking for work?
Well, there's Agnes. I've heard she can cook better than anyone. Only...
Well, what's the problem? Did something happen to her?
No, it's just that I haven't seen her around here for ages. I believe she's cooking for the local parish priest and living at the presbytery. So I don't think she's in need of work.
Thanks. I'll go.
Good luck, then.
Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord.
Are you Agnes, who works at St. James?
I am. Or I did. Before...
I'm looking for a good cook and housekeeper, and everyone I asked sent me to you.
Oh, I've been blessed by God.
So it seems. Anyway, the local merchant wants someone who can cook food.
Well, Father Francis was very fond of good food.
Why not?
Because I'm still Father Francis's housekeeper.
But I heard he fled and isn't coming back.
Don't pay any attention. They're just...
Where's Father Francis now?
I don't know. The last time I saw him, He was going to confession in Sasau.
Does he go to Sasau often? Where does he stay when he's there?
Not so often. About once a month. He always...
I'll ask around about what happened to Father.
God be with you.
The bailiff sent me. He said you're looking for a cook.
That's right. I'm searching for a good cook, but I've...
Well, I offered the bailiff my help because I know the Skalitz folk.
Ah, I see.
Do you have any particular requirement?
Well, it would be an advantage if she knew how to cook.
Well, yes, but the bailiff said you had other conditions.
Well, I want a woman who's capable of looking after the house when I'm away on business.
Young? Nimble?
What for? I want her to impress people with her food, not her face.
I understand. Sorry. I also heard there are vacant carrier jobs.
Yes, yes. I'm surprised it hasn't occurred to anyone sooner.
It will benefit my people as well.
Of course, of course.
I also heard that you need workers to carry, to empty latrines.
It's not dignified to talk of such manners. That's not a concern for decent people.
But I need to know...
Enough. I won't have such talk in my home.
Well, well.
What?
Blood will be spilt.
Are you sure?
Christ. Oh.
Father, when do you plan to return to St. James?
I beg your pardon. Why do you ask, my boy?
Your housekeeper, Agnes, is in Rattay and doesn't want to work for anyone else. She's waiting for your return.
So she survived. Thank the Lord. I prayed for her and all who suffered, but I'm not going back.
Who's that?
May the Lord watch over you.
Hey, what the... Clear off before I call a catchpole.
Father, I need your...
You?
Yes. It may sound strange, but I need you to go back to St. James.
No. No, certainly not, my boy.
Why? It is your parish, after all.
A parish that's little but a ruin these days. And
it isn't completely safe.
As my father used to say, why take the risk?
How did you manage to get out of Skalitz?
I didn't. I wasn't there during the raid. I was here at...
And why aren't you with our folks at Rattay?
Look, here I'm an honoured guest and well cared for. In Rattay, there's hardly room enough for the refugees already there. And what's more, which happens to be mutual, the last thing I want to be doing is...
He certainly isn't known for being generous. What if they increased your income?
My boy, my boy. I get tithes from the parishioners.
I know. That's why I've arranged a small collect.
So that's what you're about. And how much have you put together? Well and good, then. Well and good. That's most satisfactory. And where will I live?
You can live right there at St. James. I'm sure the locals will be great.
Well, it's true they've treated me kindly, and I do owe them. Very well.
Thank you. The people from St. James will never forget this.
God be with you.
I asked around in Sasau. Father Francis is doing well in Sasau. He has no plans to return to St. James anytime soon.
You talked to him? How is he doing? Doesn't he need his cassock fixed?
As I said, he's doing just fine.
Take care.
Are you here on account of the water carrying?
Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you.
Fine.
What did you do before?
I worked for my father.
Doing what? Who's your father, anyway?
He was Moimir.
Really? His farmhands came to the tavern a lot, but I never saw you there.
I don't go to taverns.
So you're probably here about carrying water, right?
I want to carry water.
That's all? You've nothing more to add?
That's what's needed, ain't it?
How are you holding up?
Well, I'm alive. But I miss my father.
What happened with Bailiff? He couldn't get a word out of anybody.
I don't know. I didn't talk to him at all.
And what would you give me if I put in a good word for you?
I've got nothing to give.
Oh, come now. You say you want the job, so prove it to me.
Mother told me I should go and help. If you don't want my help, fair enough.
That's enough for now.
Goodbye.
有点可疑。
God's bless.
What do you want?
I want to work. And I heard you're the one in charge of giving out...
It's true. Do you know how to cook?
Where would I learn to cook food for nobles? I want to carry water.
But Alex has already picked people who want to carry water.
He didn't ask me, though. So I came here myself.
Be that as it may, I already have the people I need to carry water. And anyway, it's no job for a woman.
I'm strong enough to knock you on your arse, you pot.
I'd like to ask a favor of you, Hal.
Of course. What is it?
I heard you're picking people to carry water. No one needs the job more than Antonia.
Adam never mentioned any Antonia.
I'm not surprised. But Antonia really needs that job.
Do you think she'll be able to handle carrying those buckets? It's quite far, and up that hill.
She's no princess. She's tough enough.
All right. I'll bear it in mind.
Well, if he's got something against giving the job to a woman, then try...
You're here about the water cap?
Aye.
So, do you want the job? There's plenty of other folk that will...
I do. I want it.
So tell me.
I was a miner.
Quite the fact. Pickman. Is that German?
No.
So you're keen on...
I've been keen...
And you had a...
No.
Besides...
What? That'd be a new one for me. No, it's not a thing I'd go around boasting about.
You're one of the people interested...
Well, Alex told me that I'm supposed to...
That's right. But first I'll...
Peter. But everyone calls me Rock.
At the mines?
That's right. Now that I think of it.
I don't know and don't care.
I suppose not.
How badly?
Well, right now there doesn't seem to be much work around for miners. And at least I can...
It's not easy work, though.
Do you think it was easier in the mines? Digging through rock on your knees all day?
There's one more option. Carrying shit.
What? For the knacker?
It's a job.
But what would people say? I need money badly, but I couldn't go back to mining after that.
But it would be twice the pay.
The money would help, true enough.
Look at it this way. You'll earn double the money in the same time, or the same money in half.
Well, you have a point. I could get it over and done with quickly.
Good. I'm sure you won't regret it. You're here about the water carrying?
I am. Where do I get some pails?
Hold your horses.
What for? I can...
Well, there's also the option of carrying, shit.
Not a chance. I'm not carrying any shit around. And if anyone tries to make me, I'll break his legs.
And what if I told you that you get double the pay?
Didn't I mention something about breaking legs?
You did, but more money?
I wouldn't be under the winch anymore. More like under the stench.
You're interested in carrying water?
I am. It's about time something good came to decent folk.
I agree.
What? But I want the work and I deserve it.
There's also the option of, emptying latrines.
Are you trying to insult me? That's no job for a decent...
True. That's why it pays double.
Double, hey? Well, that's not bad, but, double.
Know everything I need to know to pick the carriers.
Splendid. I'll be glad to get this damn business off my back.
So, how do we do this? Do I just give you their names, or should I send for them?
Just tell me their names and whether they should carry water or something else.
Vincent, Moimir's son.
Vincent? Never heard of him. What do you think he should do?
To carry water.
So we have one person to carry water. Who's next?
Antonia.
What? A woman?
Yeah, is that a problem? You never said it had to be only men.
I didn't, but I kind of assumed it would be clear. It's a long walk with a heavy load, man's work.
She can handle the job, have no fear.
Let's hope so. You'll have to answer to me if she can't. Where do we put her, then?
Carrying shit.
Good. One person for this job. Next? All decided. Now about the cook's job.
I chose a cook as well. Should I tell you or go to Hagen?
Tell me who you chose and I'll take care of it.
I chose old Agnes for the cook's job. I had a job convincing her, but it was worth it. She's the best cook around.
Glad to hear it. I'll have to drop in on Hagen for lunch sometime.
So, my wife's brother finally came back.
Welcome back. What news from Rattay?
Well, the bailiff read Sir Divish's decree, and now I'm officially bailiff of Pribyslavitz.
Then allow me to congratulate you. What will be your first step?
First, actually, I'm not quite sure. What would you recommend?
As it happens, I already saw to a few things in your absence. You might have noticed that the first people have come from Rattay.
Yeah, I saw some heading here right away.
So when they arrived, I was able to start clearing building plots with them. After they'd erected some temporary dwellings, that is.
How do I choose what to build where?
I've already given it some thought on your behalf. I even wrote it all down in the accounts ledger. Everything will be recorded there. I'll make a note of every change as we proceed.
Thanks. That'll be a big help. And where can I find this book?
It will always be kept at the Rat House.
Well, there's nothing here, so we'll have to build everything. Ale house, bakery, butchers, rat house. Did I mention ale house?
Eventually. But be warned. To begin with, it's always best to start with, and since we'll mainly be using timber, it makes sense to set up a woodcutter's camp.
All right. And then what?
That depends. Every building has its use. But you'll soon get the grasp of it, and it's all in the ledger.
What about the workers' wages and buying materials for artisans?
The money must be put in the trunk here. The expenditures for wages and materials will be taken from it, so you should keep it topped up to prevent delays. Which reminds me, there's the matter of my own pay to be resolved.
Yes, of course.
Sir Divish guaranteed me a fixed income. What's more, this job is an exceptionally big one.
I see. But how much are you thinking?
I have a record of payment here somewhere. Here it is. Let's say 1/4 more than that.
All right. This amount ought to correspond to your work.
It seems we understand each other. I agree.
Good. I'll put your wages in the trunk, too. Are you sure it's quite safe?
Quite. Only you and I shall have a key and access to the trunk. Besides, we'll have guards on watch here.
That's reassuring.
That's about all to begin with. If you need any more details, I'll be happy to explain things to you.
Could you explain something? What are my duties as bailiff?
As bailiff, you must see to it that you'll have to resolve disputes between the coin for it. Basically, you'll have to keep the whole, but you can't just do whatever you like.
Which
means that if the folk here are... So you'd better see to it that there's no thieving, and folk have jobs to...
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on things. Nothing, actually.
还有啊，哇哦，超丰富的哎！好了，那我们今天影片就先暂时到这边，感谢各位的收看，我们下次见，拜拜。